just gonna get set up here. Turn on my iPad so I can see who comes in and your comments whenever you talk to me so I can respond back. All right, let's see. Let me adjust the camera here. So I'm Nikki with Chalk with Nikki. I'm an independent designer with Chalk Couture. As y'all come in, say hello so I know you're there. And if you're catching the replay, just comment replay and let me know where you guys are from. Today I'm going to demo our pumpkin spice transfer on our 9x12 box frame. These frames are double-sided, so you can chalk on either side. They are a one-time use board for each side. They come in 3 different sizes. They come in a 5.5 by 7.5. They come in 9 by 12 and then a 6.5 by 18.5. I'm gonna use chalk paste today for this design. And I am going to be using the colors Garden Herb, Marigold, Pumpkin, and Custard. And I might use some glitter, we'll see. Now our chalk paste come in 29 different colors. They are water soluble. They usually, whenever you use a reusable surface, they'll stay on your surface until you decide to take it off. And you can take it off by spraying it with water and letting it soak in for a little bit and get the paste wet, and then you just simply wipe it off. Okay, so I am going to get started by taking the transfer out of the package. Now our transfers are a silk screen reusable transfer. They are adhesive, and on the back of every one of our transfer packages comes instructions that tell you exactly how to use and care for our transfers. So as long as you take care of them, you can use them over and over again 8 to 12 times. So you can get a lot of different projects done in those 8 to 12 times. Now I've personally gotten usage out of mine a lot more, but I think that depends on how you care for them. So on the back of this transfer is a matte finish, and I'm gonna mark the back of this so I know which side to stick the transfer back on. This side is shinier, and that's the side that you always want to put your transfer back on. So I am going to fuzz this transfer today because I'm putting it on wood, and I don't want it to pick up a lot of the wood fibers. So I'm just going to use a microfiber towel. I'm going to peel my transfer off and just lay it right here on this microfiber. Let me set this aside. Okay. So I'm gonna lay this down on the wood board and line it up. Just gonna eyeball it, make sure I got it somewhat straight. And then I'll just smooth it down. And the reason I'm smoothing it down is I want to make sure that all these clear areas is where the silk screen is, and that's where the paste is going to go through. And I want to make sure that there's no air bubbles in that area. So I'm actually going to do a couple of different colors today. So I'll probably pull this transfer up and then place it back down as I work. especially if I'm going to use glitter. So I think I'm going to start with the pumpkin. And as I use this transfer, or as I go through this transfer, I'm going to pull it up as I go because I don't want it to get dry out and get stuck on my board. I want to be able to lift this up. So I'm going to get started. Now all of our pastes have a natural pigment to them, so whenever you get them, you want to make sure that you stir them up. They should have a yogurt-like consistency, and I'm using one of our new multi-tools, and this has a curved edge, and it gets right under the lip of each one of your paste so that you're able to get a better consistency throughout your paste color. So I'm just going to rinse that off, set it to the side. Now I've taken a couple of squeegees and cut them into smaller pieces for this project because if you'll notice there's some smaller areas here that I want to be able to get into and do a different color. So I'm going to get started here. I'm not going to do the scroll at the top just yet. I want that to be a different color, and I'm going to add some glitter to that, so I'm going to wait to put that on there. So as I'm putting this on, I'm just making sure that I've got the entire silkscreen area covered, and I'm being careful not to go into those other areas. So I'm going to do the spice in the same color. And as I'm going through, I'm pulling off the excess and moving it around on the transfer. Again, making sure that I smooth out the lines so that my design is nice and smooth when I pull the transfer up. So I'm just going to lift that real quick. And when you lift your transfer, you always want to make sure that you are lifting side to side, never corner to corner. So I'm just going to pull that up. And it looks like it's going on pretty smooth, so I'm going to make sure I touch the bottom up here. I see a couple little areas down here at the bottom that I missed. You always want to pull up slow when you're lifting your transfer so you can fix any areas that you need to. Okay. Hi, Christine. Oh, sorry, Christina. I don't have my glasses on. All right. So I'm just going to lift that right there, and I'm going to stick, well, I'm going to try to stick this to the side so that it doesn't go onto the transfer. Let's see. Let me grab another one real quick. And these are just the plastic corners that came off the wood frame when they shipped it to me. And I'm just using it to hold the transfer up. So I'm gonna do and everything in a different color. So I'm gonna do that in, I think, marigold. When I get to everything nice, I've got to be careful of that little spot, but I'm also gonna dry this after I use it, so that I can lay the transfer back down on top of it and add the different colors that I want. So I'm just going to work side to side on this design. And I see that I'm gonna have to switch to a more slender squeegee when I get down here to get around the eye. It's gonna be tricky, but I think I can handle it. We'll see. I'm a pretty messy crafter. So let me tell you guys a little bit about Chalk Couture. Chalk Couture started a little over a year ago as a home party business, and it has turned into an amazing home decor business with a line of inks and surfaces and pillowcases. It's a lot of fun to work with. I'm gonna switch to the smaller one. And it really doesn't matter how much personal talent you have, because with these transfers, if you can spread peanut butter and jelly, you can do this. It's so easy. That's what's so great about it. Okay, I think I got that. Now I'm just gonna have to pull this up as I go and move it. Pull it up a little bit more. Okay, I'm gonna lay these back down. And then I'm gonna work on that other part of the Y. This paste goes on so smooth, and if it ever starts to get a little lumpy on you, or it seems like it's gotten thicker, you just add a little bit of distilled water to it and it loosens right back up. The paste can last anywhere from a year if unopened to 6 months for an open jar. And just a little bit of paste goes a long way. So these jars, you can get a lot of projects out of this. Okay. So I'm gonna pull that up a little bit more. Check and see how it's doing. Okay. So now I'm gonna lay that back down, and I'm gonna finish up doing the nice with my pumpkin color. Now, because I'm using multiple colors, I'm not going across and squeegeeing off the excess as I normally would, because I don't want to blend the paste colors, because that will give me an ombre effect, which is pretty, but it's just not something that I want right now for this project. I'm trying to do really clean lines, so if y'all have any questions so far, just post them in the comments, and I'll try to answer them as I go along. All right, now I'm gonna, again, switch to a smaller squeegee here so that I can finish up doing the eye. And I'm not too worried about those touching, because like I said, I'm not gonna blend those together. I also have to get in here and do the other part of the E. So I'm just pushing down to make sure that that kind of goes through. And now I'm just gonna lift that up. Looks pretty good so far. So I'm just gonna clean this transfer real quick. And to do that, I'm gonna move this out of the way. I'm gonna lay it back on my microfiber towel, and I'm just gonna clean the top of it with a Clorox wipe so I can get the colors off. Because I am gonna just use it again. And this is how you clean them when you're done. You just put them in water, swish them around to get the excess paint off, and then you go over them front and back with a Clorox wipe. I'm hoping I can get most of this off without having to wet it. As I'm letting the paste dry on my board, I'll just clean this, because I don't want it to get back on the board whenever I go to do the other colors. And I'm probably gonna have to stick it in some water real quick, but that's okay. It washes out, so don't worry. Okay, so I'll lay this back on here now, and now go back over it with a Clorox wipe. Since I got most of the paste colors off, I should be able to get this pretty clean. You always want to make sure that your transfer is dry when you put it back on your board so that you don't mess it up. That's why I'm putting it back on the microfiber, because I know that's going to dry the back of it. And then I'm going to lay another microfiber on the top of it and dry off the top. And then I'm going to make sure that the board is dry with the paste on it so that I can lay this back on top and do multiple colors. Okay, that's fairly clean. So I'm going to dry the top off now with my other microfiber towel. Hi, Jennifer Jones. You off work today? Good for you. Okay. So I'm going to set this aside and I'm going to check to see if this is dry real quick. And it looks like it might be a little damp, so I'm just going to go over it with a hairdryer real quick and make sure that this is dry before I lay it back down. So I'm just going to toss these squeegees in some water so that I can clean them up so I can close up my paste. And then I'll set those aside. So Chalk Couture is a pretty interesting company because you can work your business any way you want to, whether you want to do it as a home party plan, or if you just want to join for a discount, or if you're looking just to do workshops, your passion is teaching and you want to teach people how to craft. There's lots of different ways that you can do this. And I do have an opportunity group. If you're interested, you can just post info in the comments and I'll send you a friend request and add you to my opportunity group. So I'm just going to blow dry this real quick. Okay. I see a little spot right there, so I am going to try and take that off before I lay that back down. Because that spot is actually where my coffee mug is going to go when I lay this transfer back down. And I don't want those two colors to bleed together. Okay. Let me dry that spot real quick. All right. Now I'm going to lay this back down and I'm going to line it up as best I can. It's pretty easy to line up actually because of the silk screen area. You can see where your design is what has got color in it and what doesn't. So it does make it easier to line up for double applications like what I'm doing. Just like that. Okay. So now I am going to smooth this out. I want to make sure that I folded it over a little bit. So I'm going to smooth that out real quick. Okay. So I'm going to do the coffee mug. I think that I'm going to do it in this herb garden. No, it's garden herb. I do not have my glasses on. Obviously, I need to put them on. Okay, so I'm going to do the coffee mug. And when I do this coffee mug, I'm going to leave the paste kind of thick because I'm going to go back over all the swirls and do those in custard. And I want it to stay wet, because as I lift it, I'm going to sprinkle glitter on the swirls. So it kind of gives it a little definition to the project. Gives it a little sparkle for the holidays coming up. Okay, just gonna make sure that I got all those areas covered. There we go. I'm just gonna lift that again, lifting from side to side. And because this board is whitewashed, you can't really see the custard part, and that's why another reason why I'm going to add the glitter to it, so it kind of makes it stand out. So I'm just going to sprinkle that glitter on real quick. Now it's not going to stick to the other parts because they're already dry. When you're working with glitter, you just want to make sure that you keep the glitter away from your adhesive backing on your transfer, because it will stick and you'll never get all this glitter off. So I always make sure that I put my transfer far to the side. All right. Now I'm just going to kind of tap that into the design very lightly because I don't want to mess it up, but I do want to make sure that I'm getting enough glitter into the paste as it dries so that you can see it on the design. Perfect. Okay, now I'm gonna close this up real quick. I don't want to get glitter in my chalk paste. I'm gonna set that aside. And then I'm gonna lift this up and kind of shake it, and then I'll lay it back down so you guys can see it. Now I'm just gonna use the blow dryer and get off the excess glitter. Kind of dust it with my microfiber towel to get off the glitter that's on the actual project. And that's it. You've got a completed project. And it didn't take that long, maybe 15-20 minutes maybe. But that's it. So if any of you guys have any questions, again, just post them in the comments. And if you are local to the Jacksonville area and want to attend one of my workshops, or you're interested in hosting a Chalk and Chat, just PM me and we'll set something up. Thanks for watching, you guys. Have a great day.